Who's ready? I'm ready, but before I begin, you know what I must do. 96.8. A little low. I was out earlier. It's not that chilly. I don't know why it's so low, but at least it's not high, and I can continue. Before I go any further, remember when Lala planted corn just a little over a week ago? Look how tall her shoots are already. We're gonna have a nice harvest of sweet corn. 100% non-GMO. You know, I don't play that GMO mess. Anyway, today's nap time story time is coming from a book I haven't shared with you yet. African American Children's Stories. Stories by African American artists and authors. A treasury of traditional tales. And before I begin, if you listen closely, you'll hear gospel music playing behind me. Gospel music originated from music as this song, printed right here, which was sung in early America by the people who were brought here unwillingly. And these songs talked about how they were going to get free, trying to find their way back home. I'm not much of a singer, but this is a song, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. I'll sing the first part, and I'll read the rest. I'll sing it for you at the beginning so you know what the melody sounded like when it was sung on the plantation. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming forth to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming forth to carry me home, tell all my friends I'm coming too, coming forth to carry me home. I'm sometimes up, I'm sometimes down, coming forth to carry me home, but still my soul feels heavenly bound, coming forth to carry me home. That's what's known as an old Negro spiritual. Google it, look it up, ask your grandma, ask your great-grandma, do some research, learn about it on your own. In the meanwhile, I'm going to read one of my favorite folk tales to you, John Henry. This version was adapted by Vincent F.A. Golphin, and the illustrations are by Christopher B. Clark. Take a look. The West was full of open spaces when the C&O Railroad was new. Steel tracks had to be laid through the rugged West Virginia mountains so settlers could come through. Over hills and down deep valleys, many men worked a plan that birthed the thrilling legend about a steel-driving man. "Keep on driving!" yelled the foreman, mile after mile. The workers did race. For every section of rail set down, men hammered spikes to hold them in place. One by one, Workers lifted sledges and slammed the nails on the head. "Come on, keep up with John Henry," the foreman always said. With skin as dark as midnight, shoulders wide as 2 trees, John Henry stood nearly 7 feet tall. His voice carried a mile on a breeze. He used a 30-pound hammer, nailing track faster than the 4-man crew. The workers at Big Bend Mountain said he was the best they ever knew. John Henry hammered long steel rods, piercing the red shale mountain wall. He could drill a dynamite hole 40 feet when the foreman gave a call. "Come over here, John Henry," the foreman said, "and make us another hole." The strong-armed giant drove that steel like he was digging for silver or gold. The blaster lit the fuses. The workers ran and hid. After the big explosion, they hauled rocks away on a skid. As 1,000 men carved the mountain for $1.25 a day, the railroad owner told the foreman, "That's more men than we need to pay." One day in 1870, the foreman told the workers about the C&O's plan. "We're going to use this steam engine drill," he said. "It's faster than a man. We've got to cut the Big Bend, the tunnel, the biggest ever done. No man can drive these rods fast enough, not even a steel driving one." The angry workers shouted at the foreman. One after another asked him, "Why?" John Henry yelled, "Boss, a man never knows what he can do. Boss, a man never knows what he can do unless he gives it a try." "Bring the steam pile drill closer," said the foreman to the engineer. The men let out a rousing cheer, and John Henry showed no fear. The steam drill slammed one rod, then another, into that mountain face. John Henry's hammer answered each stroke to match the grueling pace. 2 or 3 hours soon passed, and people wondered how big John Henry would last. The blaster set the charges after every rod was drawn. Explosions roared across the valleys as the race went on and on. "Keep that steel a-comin'," John Henry said with a grin. The side of the mountain opened right up, and the steam drill moved right in. John Henry drove those rods all day. Monday hammered away, and on Tuesday too. When the rooster crowed on Wednesday, the race was finally through. The steam drill cleared a mile-long path, slammed 130 rods. John Henry tunneled through 1.5 miles and won against all of the odds. The workers all walked right down the shaft past the defeated iron drill. They marveled at what a man could do with the power of his will. "He's a steel-driving man," every worker yelled out. "Look what he has done." Up on the other side of the mountain, John Henry smiled in the blazing sun. The foreman told John Henry, "I'm sorry that I pushed such a plan. I should have known no engine could whip a steel-driving man." "A man never knows just what he can do," a tired John Henry said. Then he heaved a long sigh. and fell to the ground. John Henry was now dead. He is buried beside Big Bend Mountain, right where the east-west tunnels cross. The spot has a statue and a plaque that tells of the hero who was lost. Rest in peace, John Henry. The rest of you, you know what I'm going to tell you. Go take your nap.